conversations. Today we are continuing the theme of Anatomy of Experience, Navigating Reality, Part 3. And today I'm going to talk to you about what spiritual traditions call authentic or self-power. So self-power is that which comes to you from your soul. It is the power of, as the word implies the power of the self, okay? The power of the self, the true self is self-power. So that's where we are today, and let's continue with that conversation. Just waiting to see if you can see me and hear me, and so that we can continue with this experience, okay? So please let me know that you can see and hear clearly so I can continue this conversation. Okay, I'm going to start anyway. So yes, everybody says they can hear, they can see, and I think that's what you're saying. Let's see. I'm not seeing any feedback. Yes, I am. Okay, perfect. Everything is okay. You can see me, you can hear me. Okay, today the topic for discussion is self-power. Self-power means power that emanates from the true self, not from the conditioned self, from the true self. Power that comes from being meta-human. There's another kind of power that people use, and that's the kind of power we see all the time in the world. It's called agency power. Agency power means your power comes from a certain agency. The agency could be a political agency. You know, you're the president of a country, or a corporation, or a community, or whatever. The agency could be lots of money. You're a billionaire or a multimillionaire. The agency could be basically anything that involves influence peddling, power mongering, cronyism, corruption, control. All of that is called agency power. But true power that comes from the self cannot ever be taken away from you. The other kinds of power can be taken away from you. All kinds of agencies can be taken away from you. So it's not really real power. Real power is self-power, the power to create your own reality, the power to create your own life, the power to create the most meaningful relationships, the power to create abundance, the power to create joy, the power to create healing. This is all self-power. Can't be taken away from you. So that brings us today to the third center of awareness. We are calling them centers of awareness, centers of consciousness. In the Eastern wisdom traditions of yoga, they're called chakras, the wheels of awareness, the wheel of awareness. But you can think of it as a center of awareness, too, center of consciousness. And remember, consciousness by itself or awareness by itself is not the same thing as conscious experience. You need consciousness, you need awareness to have conscious experience. But consciousness by itself is not the conscious experience. It is the source of the conscious experience. It's the ground of the conscious experience. It's, as many others, Rupert Spira and others say, it's the screen behind the programming. It's the screen on which the program occurs, the screen on which you're seeing this program, metaphorically. It's the ground of all experience, unconscious experience and conscious experience. But by itself, consciousness or awareness is that which differentiates into experience. it is not experience other than the experience of pure knowing, which we'll get to at some point. Pure knowing. We'll get to that. But consciousness makes experience possible. Consciousness, awareness is the knowing element in every experience. Okay, back to our third chakra. The third chakra is located somewhere between your belly button and where the ribs meet, the lower ribs meet. So if you place your hand a little bit above your belly button, but a little bit below the solar plexus, exact solar plexus, that's the third chakra, the third center of awareness. It's frequently referred to in Sanskrit, and I've been trying to avoid Sanskrit language because it kind of recycles the same cliches. And I said, cliches become cliches even when they are profound if they're repeated too often. Rope and snake, Maya, Leela, etc. However, I finally surrendered to the wisdom of using Sanskrit because Sanskrit has concepts and notions that are very difficult to translate into particularly the English language, but most languages. So the third chakra is referred to, the third center of awareness is referred to as Manipura. And the meaning of Manipura means lustrous jewel. It's jewel, it's the fire of transformation. Manipura is lustrous gem. Nice name, lustrous gem. Tattva. Remember, what is tattva? Thatness, the essence of the experience. So we can say tattva is that which is known. And what is known is through a modality of knowing. The modality of knowing is called Jnanendra. So that which is known is tattva. That which allows you to know is Jnanendra. Now let's go into these two words. Tattva, that which is known. So in this case, that which is known in the third chakra, the third center of awareness, is form. That which is known is appearance. That which is known is color. That which is known is shape. That which is known is borders. Shape, color, form, anything that you see is the tattva, that which is known, that the essence of that which is known, the thatness of that which is known, today's center of awareness is form, color, shape. What you're experiencing right now, as you look at me and the scenery behind me, in essence, is only color, shape, and form. The rest is a human story. Staircase, Deepak, bookshelf, that's a story. What you're seeing right now is color. That's it. Just use that word, or shape or form. And color, shape, and form do not have an existence in the physical world. Okay, they are projections of the light of awareness as it differentiates into these shapes, forms, and colors. Okay. Tattva, that which is known today, is color. Just remember one word, color. Okay. The color of the third chakra is yellow, like the sun. Okay, bright yellow, like the sun. The light of awareness that gives rise to the experience of form. So the Jnanendra means the subtle act of seeing. You can see in imagination, which means with your eyes closed, that would be called the subtle sense of sight. The tan matra of sight. Tan, subtle, matra, measurement of the experience of seeing. Tan matra. So you can see in your mind's eye, or you can see visually right now as you're seeing me. That is the Jnanendra. Jnanendra means the knowing of experience. And right now, the knowing of experience is color, shape, form, everything that you see. And the act of seeing itself is the Jnanendra, the act of knowing. Knowing what? Form. Not sound, not taste, not smell. We're not dealing with that right now. The act of knowing right now for consciousness, assuming we're navigating experience through the third center of awareness, then the knowing is through form. That's the Jnanendra. What is the yantra for this? What is the yantra for this? What is the yantra for seeing? Well, there are classic yantras. You can look them up on the internet. There are all kinds of classic yantras, but if yantra is, for our purpose, that which creates visual experience, visual form, and the yantra is remember, the definition of yantra is instrument, the means of knowing, the means. Okay, so the yantra right now, if we want to use an instrument, could be anything that encourages the experience of visual form. A candle, a flame, could be even imagining the sun, the moon, the stars, could be a crystal, could be the classic yantras associated with the third chakra, frequently referred to as lustrous gem, but anything shiny form. So then, what is the element, the tattva that is being suggested? Fire. Fire has all the colors. And fire is therefore symbolically representing every shape, every form, but it also represents transformation. It also represents transformation. Metabolic fire, the fire of transformation, emotional maturity, spiritual transformation, transformation of the body. Because what is the body? It's modified consciousness, right? Not energy, not information, modified consciousness. What is then the essence of the tattva? Fire. Yantra, shiny objects, but shiny shapes, or shiny forms, or shiny divinities, or shiny mandalas, or shiny glorious entanglement of forms. That would be the yantra. The mantra, the sacred sound, the sacred thought that goes, mantra, instrument of the mind, that takes us beyond the mind, today is ram, ram, ram. Creates friction, the fire of friction. Tantra or tantra is the ritual. The ritual is the actual practice. We'll do it. The little meditation that we'll do at the end is the tantra, the tantric practice. And now today I will introduce maybe a couple of other terms. With your permission, we've talked about tattvas, jnanendras, matrika, tanmatra, a lot of things to learn, but they're part of the map making now. And I resisted Sanskrit, but realized it's the best way to explain. So I will explain 3 other Sanskrit terms to you today: bandha, kriya, and mudra. So bandha is binding. And in this case, when we talk about binding, we talk about the entanglement of sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts. In this case, when we talk about binding, and this is through conscious awareness, actually you can do that through yoga practice as well, because yoga practice is Dhyan, Dharana, Samadhi, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi, but also yogasanas. And yogasanas actually are binding states of awareness in the entanglement of sensations, particularly sensations, but also in the mind, images. Warrior 1, Warrior 2, bow pose, etc., etc. Okay. Upward dog, downward dog, these are all states of awareness that create the entanglement of sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts. So that, think of bandha in that way, although there are bandhas in the body, Muladhara bandha, Uddiyana bandha, Jalandhara bandha, etc. We can talk about that, but bandha literally means to bind, to tether, to anchor. And what we are anchoring in the third chakra are themes. What are those themes? What are the motifs in the third chakra that we are beginning to anchor? Well, they are the themes embodied in what I started out with: self-power, self-power. And these themes include everything from the power of the physical body, what we call sthul sharir. Sthul means physical, material. So self-power includes the power of optimal digestion, the power of circulation, the power inherent in the organs, the visceral organs of the body. The heart is pumping blood, the stomach is digesting food, the pancreas is creating pancreatic juice, the immune system is self-regulating. All this is self-power. All this is self-power. Your body's biological processes are powered by consciousness. Okay. But self-power also includes the power of optimal and healthy and joyful and enlightening experiences. It is also, therefore, the power of transformation, physical transformation, emotional transformation, and ultimately spiritual transformation, to go beyond all fragmented aspects of experience. Bandha. What was the other term I was going to use? The other term I was going to use is kriya. Now, kriya is a very interesting word. It means cleansing. So, kriya means any action that cleanses the physical body and the emotional body, the psychological body. Any action, okay? Decreasing toxicity by taking action that is purifying. There are in yoga many kriyas, and we can talk about them. Kriyas to purify the physical body, kriyas to purify the emotional body, etc. And the third concept I was going to introduce today, well, not the third. We've discussed so many concepts already, but the final concept, let's say, I was going to discuss today is mudra. Mudra is a very interesting word too, because mudra originally means imprint, seal, symbol, stamp. So a mudra in this case could be a gesture or an anchoring symbol of consciousness through the body. Okay, so the mudra for the third chakra is the following. Take your thumb and have it meet your forefinger, and also bring in your ring finger. So your ring finger, forefinger, and thumb are together. Your pinky and your middle finger are pointing forward. Okay, and if you keep this mudra with both hands, on your lap, that is the element that binds the bandhas, the entanglement of sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts that have to do with self-empowerment, or the third chakra. Okay, a lot of information today. I don't know if it's even valuable. It's map making. Okay, now the practice, which is really more important than the map making, the meditation that goes with this particular explanation of navigating reality and activating self-power. So wherever you are, sit comfortably with your eyes closed, feet firmly planted in the ground, unless you're sitting in lotus position on the floor, on a mat, yoga mat, that's different, but otherwise, feet firmly planted on the ground. Use the mudra I showed you on your lap. Use the mudra today. Okay, the mudra is simple. Yeah, use the mudra today. On your lap. Eyes, soft eyes engulfed in the spaciousness of being or infinite consciousness, soft eyes. Bring your awareness to the third center of awareness right now, which is in between the belly button and the solar plexus. Introduce in there the color yellow. Okay. And then you can sound this loudly, the mantra, Ram, Ram. You can say it loudly, or better, always more powerful, subtle, mentally. Whisper, Ram. And then don't whisper it, just mentally say it. So awareness is in the third chakra. The mantra is Ram. The color is yellow. The motif is self-power. The form is fire. The color is yellow. The yantra could be a crystal, anything you want, or a candle even, right next to you. And then now see if you can combine subtle intentions. Drishti means seeing the color in the chakra. Dharana, focused awareness. Dhyan, meditation. Samadhi, transcendence. Let's do it. Ram, Ram. Breathe deeply. Today's anchoring thought, self-power. Immune to criticism and flattery, beneath no one, superior to no one, fearless, friendly, loving, compassionate, self-power. Ram, 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 Ram. It's R-A-M, Ram, 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 Ram. Bridget says Aristotle, Plato, Descartes, the philosophy of the idea, cognito ergo sum, and more. Carmela says she feels a personal connection. I do too. Personal, we are all processes entangled in the infinite divine. Matt says confusing. I'm sorry, Matt, but that's a good start. To be confused and bewildered is the beginning of the creative process. Aurora Carlson says, I love Sanskrit. Well, I have surrendered to the wisdom of Sanskrit. Grew up with it, grew up with Hindi and Sanskrit. So, Bandha Kriya Mudra. Yes, we introduced those ideas today. Bandha, Kriya, Mudra, Tantra, Mantra, Yantra, Tattva, Tanmatra. Hope says, be careful about animal products. I agree. Marcia Gandini says, nice. Camila says, I meditated. Alvara says, self-power. Anyone Piper says, Deepak, please notice me. Hi. Okay, good vagal tone for digestion. Yeah, that is stimulated. I'm so happy you brought that up because we didn't mention the asanas that are associated with the third chakra. So here are some of the asanas that are associated with the third chakra. I'm glad that you brought that out. Thank you. The asanas, the child pose, the shavasana pose, the plank pose, the bow pose, sun salutation, all these are asanas that are associated with the third chakra. Boy, we've covered a lot today, huh? Bandha, Kriya, Mudra, Tantra, Yantra, Mantra, Tattva, Tanmatra, Asana, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. Okay, so this is the vocabulary of yoga. Yoga, union with the divine through the self within, which is the self of the total universe. Thank you for today, and to be continued tomorrow.